for all Americans, the protection of Bristol Bay. And folks, we're here to celebrate that achievement as part of my administration's land and water conservation agenda, the most ambitious in American history. Bristol Bay is an extraordinary place unlike anywhere in the world. 6 rivers meet there, traveling through 40,000 miles of tundra, wetlands, and lakes, collecting fresh water and sediment along the way from some of the most pristine land on the entire planet. And that's not hyperbole. But fresh water empties into Bristol Bay, where every year tens of millions of salmon return, making this the largest sockeye salmon fishery on all the earth. Folks, even in this age of climate change, the fish runs at Bristol Bay are breaking records. It's a marvel. And, it really is when you think about it. At least I was worried about this 10 years ago. Alaska Native people have rallied and relied on this fishery for millennia. Today, Bristol Bay supplies nearly half of the world's wild sockeye salmon, and it supports 15,000 jobs, American jobs in fishing, processing, and tourism. The economic value is estimated to be $2.2 billion. This amazing thing about resources like this, if you take care of it, it can go on forever, but it's impossible to put an economic price on that. And the opposite is true as well. Once a resource like this is harmed or destroyed, it may be impossible to bring it back again. That's why decades ago, when mining companies made plans to create one of the largest open-pit gold and copper mines in North America right near the headwaters of Bristol Bay, folks were alarmed, including me. That mine, would have destroyed 100 miles of streams and nearly 3,000 acres of wetlands and open water that are critical to the salmon breeding. And it would have created billions of tons of toxic and dangerous waste. All that waste would have been stored behind a massive dam in perpetuity, forever. But Bristol Bay is a region prone to earthquakes, which could destroy that dam. It gets tremendous amounts of rain and snow, which could cause toxic waste to pour over the sides of the dam. And if the dam failed, the waste would be poured into the headwaters of Bristol Bay, and that would be a true calamity. Other mines like this in other parts of America, which are built in much drier climates, where consequences of an engineering failure would not have been as severe.
Hello, friends. I have important news to share with you this Wednesday. The vast majority of Americans are urging Congress to approve more stimulus checks. With a looming recession and debt default, the chances of another round of federal relief checks are very likely. The Federal Reserve has just released key information on the current state of the economy, and it is not good. So friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for all of the details. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community, I will be announcing several winners this coming Friday for the $75 Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Although inflation is falling, America's bank accounts and budgets have taken a big hit after nearly 2 years of rising prices. The last thing the country needs is a recession to kick it when it's down. But that's exactly what many experts are predicting for later this year. The Federal Reserve's own economists are predicting a mild recession this year, and a recovery will take 2 years. Recession fears were reignited this year after chaos broke out in the U.S. banking industry, following the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. The turmoil has stoked fears that regional banks could be overwhelmed by waves of withdrawals or bank runs, and concerns that lenders could pull back, triggering a credit crunch and ultimately a recession. Fed economists noted the economic outlook is especially hard to gauge right now compared to the past due to the banking turmoil. They cautioned that the financial system faces even more pressure. Their forecasted recession would be worse than average downturns. The economic downturn may result in higher unemployment. The Fed staff economists added that they expect the U.S. economy would fully recover by 2025. 3 rounds of unprecedented stimulus payments helped the United States survive its last crisis. But could another round of assistance prevent an economic downturn before it arrives? The Federal Reserve cannot force banks to loan money at a certain rate. Instead, it manipulates the cost of borrowing by adjusting the discount rate that it charges banks for short-term loans. Starting last year, the Fed enacted the first of what would become 10 consecutive increases to its short-term rate, which spurred banks to raise the cost of loans to a 16-year high. It is a strategy that then Fed Chairman Paul Volcker pioneered and successfully implemented during the inflation crisis of the late 1970s and early 1980s. Pull money out of the economy by making it more expensive to borrow so that demand falls and runaway inflation cools, even if it triggers a recession. Congress can authorize stimulus payments whether the Fed likes it or not. Stimulus checks seek to pump more money into the economy and also promote consumer spending. When Congress passed the CARES Act in March 2020, the U.S. economy was losing tens of millions of jobs. The stock market crashed, and the United States was in the grips of a terrifying public health emergency. That's precisely the kind of rare and urgent emergency that leads to expensive, widespread stimulus spending. According to experts, stimulus checks or programs have been used at many points over the years to fill gaps or restart consumer spending. From the housing industry perspective, after the credit crisis in 2008 and 2009, the first-time homebuyer tax credit of $8,000 was used to revive a housing market that was on life support, which was one factor that kick-started a housing surge that went on for 10-plus years. But today, the economy has shown remarkable resilience. The stock market is up on the year, and employers are adding more jobs than expected. However, it is clear that many Americans are still struggling because of the crisis. The Fed is aiming for a so-called soft landing, which strikes a perfect balance between tightening the money supply just enough to tame inflation without triggering a recession. Even if there is a recession, Fed economists and many industry leaders and analysts predict it will be short and shallow. According to the latest U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics report, unemployment dropped again. The unemployment rate dropped to 3.4% in April. The last time the rate was this low was January, and before that, May 1969. President Biden seized on the employment report to urge Congress to raise the federal government's borrowing cap. Biden told reporters, "The last thing this country needs, after all we have been through, is a manufactured crisis. It's a manufactured crisis driven by Republicans in Congress." Well, my most beautiful and awesome friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video. Thank you, my friends, for being here and for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway this coming Friday. If you would like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, my friends, of winning the giveaways.